Hello and welcome to the Post to Post podcast. It is podcast number 77. It's May 26th.
Yep.
Your last day in Canada.
Yep.
Technically.
Yep.
For 3 weeks.
Well, almost 3.
Your last, it's not going to be your last video on the channel. We may or may not have filmed 2 videos yesterday. One for this channel and one for the second channel. And the one for the second channel is Where Am I with $1,000 on the line.
$1,000.
Can Brent win $1,000? Find out this week on more Post to Post. Okay, so since this is our last podcast, and you're literally leaving in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
So we won't make this too long, but it'll probably end up being the same amount of time it always is, which is around an hour.
That's fine.
We have lots of stuff to talk about, World Championships, some news around the NHL, the NBA news that happened last night, and some other stuff as well. So stay tuned for the next hour-ish. So the World Championships, let's start with that since it's the most relevant hockey news at the moment, I would say. We got some criticism over the past 2 weeks of not covering the World Championships.
I'd say fair.
Oh, yeah, I think it's fair. But like we released a goalie helmet video last week, and someone commented and said, the World Championships are going on right now, and you're releasing silly, foolish goalie helmet videos
I didn't see that.
3 hours after one of the games ended. Okay, number one, that video was filmed 4 days prior to its releasing. That's what we have to do because we have lives. I'm in physio all the time now, and you work a regular job, plus you're planning to leave for this trip. Mm-hmm. So when we do get a chance to film videos, usually we film between 2 and 5 at one time, and then I release them throughout the week. So we can't film a video right after a certain game or something like that. Wish we could, but we can't. So that's why we haven't really been covering the World Championships that much. Mm-hmm. However, recently we have started to watch pretty much all the games. And man, it's a pretty exciting year because
it's great.
There's so many storylines. There's Team Russia with their basically Olympic team minus Tarasenko. We have Great Britain, who had an unbelievable comeback against France and punched their ticket into next year's World Championship.
And France is now relegated and has to play their way back in a couple of years' time.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
It's a pretty special year. And then we have the Finns, who, are basically an entire European or an entire actual Finnish team. Yeah. Like, the Czechs have some NHLers, the Swiss have some NHLers, Canada has some mostly or all NHLers, mm-hmm. all NHLers. The Finns, I think, have 2 maybe, and they're not even that.
No, they're not popular
prominent players.
Well, in the Canadian commentary during one of the games, they were talking about how I think it's Team Canada, amongst all the players, have 220 NHL goals.
Russia.
Oh, Team Russia.
212 NHL goals this year.
Yeah, and Team Finland, all of their players together, 0.
0, yeah.
So it just, and I guess what this does say, well, it says a couple of things. One, Finland's pretty good at hockey.
Yeah.
But number 2, the quality of the players that Finland has deployed to various leagues and teams across Europe is every bit as good.
Absolutely.
As the players that have been deployed to North America.
If you look at the population of Finland, there's 5 or 6 million people around there, I think. And then you look at the quality hockey players that country produces, per capita, I think Finland is probably the most successful.
They might be.
Maybe recently successful, but the most, I don't know. I'm looking for a word and I can't find it. The most accomplished country in producing talented hockey players in the past 10 years. So it's a good time to be a Finn or a Finnish fan. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very good.
And then you have Team Russia with, like I said, basically their Olympic team, their proper Olympic team, minus Tarasenko. And they can't get to the big dance. They couldn't get to the gold medal game. They are playing for bronze as we speak. I'm not sure what the score is. I think it was 2-1 Czechs last time I heard.
Yeah.
And the team's stacked. And we watched the game yesterday. The Russia... Who did they play yesterday? Finland.
The Finns, yeah.
And it was such an individual game.
Yeah.
Like, specifically, I'll just use one instance. At the end of the game, when they pulled the goalie, they put 6 forwards out. Granted, probably the best 6 forwards in the entire tournament, and possibly the NHL entirety.
Maybe the world.
And they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, they did almost score, but you have 6, for the most part, individual players out there, all kind of trying to do the same thing. Ovechkin was out there. He didn't get in his office. He was off on the point on the other opposite side. So that was a little strange. I don't know why he chose to go there other than his good spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't really see like a complete team effort from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So there's lots of storylines. I mean, Canada barely won against the Swiss. Scored was 0.4 seconds left to send it to overtime, and then score in overtime.
Mm.
It's been a good tournament. I'm sad that I'm sorry that we haven't talked about it until now in depth. But yeah, I hope you guys are watching because it's awesome.
Canada's game against Slovakia in the round robin was equally dicey. It was a last-minute thing and overtime thing or whatever. Mark Stone scored with like no time left, really.
Yeah, it's like 4 seconds left or 1.4. Like yeah, whatever.
Crazy. So Canada has not had an easy go here. And they lost to the Finns in game 1 of the round robin. So Finland has defeated Canada, and it's a rematch of that game, and Finland has the upper hand. Both rosters, I don't know about the Finnish roster, but the Canadian roster has changed a little bit since then because we've had some arrivals. And John Tavares was with Team Canada, but I think in the first practice he pulled up injured in some way, and he hasn't been playing. So,
yeah, I mean, and then Canada doesn't have players like there's no Crosby, there's no Subban, there's no Carey Price, there's no Doughty.
Mm-hmm.
So the Canada team is almost maybe a third string Canada team. So I'm only saying that as an excuse if they lose.
Well, really, and if you look at the Finns, who could have all kinds of NHLer talent there.
They're in the same situation.
They're in exactly the same situation. So it's a very even match. And I think Finland has a lot to be proud of, regardless how the game turns out. But I think they've beaten Canada already. Mm-hmm. They have, based on how they handled Russia in the game we watched yesterday, I would not be surprised at all if Finland won the whole thing.
I think that says a lot about, and I'm not just talking about Finland. I think that says a lot about the leagues around the world, other than the NHL, mm-hmm. The league in Sweden, the SHL, and obviously Finland, and all these other countries that have these leagues, like the Swiss team. There's lots of players on there that aren't from the NHL, and who did really well in this tournament, mm-hmm. and had a great tournament, and got the spotlight on them a little bit, and they deserve it. So I mean, globally, this tournament has really put a spotlight on hockey in general, and that it's not just about North America and the NHL. There's so many other talented countries out there. Look at Germany. Just in the past 3 years, Germany has skyrocketed up the list of countries who have had success in hockey. They went to the gold medal game in the Olympics, and they did pretty decent in this tournament as well.
I've been impressed with Latvia in this tournament and recent tournaments. Latvia's been playing great.
Absolutely. And just, I mean, Switzerland. Look how small Switzerland is as a country. Mm-hmm. And that is an amazing hockey country. So, I mean, it's a good time for hockey globally right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Sure is.
We were talking yesterday about the upcoming Olympics and how China is going to have a hockey team in the Olympics because they're the hosts. They automatically get a hockey team. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's going to be a little unfair, I think, but interesting to see. And obviously, hockey is trying to grow in China anyway. So, yeah. Do you have anything else to say
about the Worlds?
About the Worlds, other than
only one observation. I don't know if you've noticed it, but although there's lots of ads around on the boards, other than the center ice logo, whatever that is, there is no advertising on the ice. I'm used to seeing, Spengler Cup, where you've got of all 5 face-off dots, they've got some ad, and then there's just stuff scattered everywhere. Everything that isn't in motion has a sticker on it or a logo painted on it.
Even things that are in motion, they got ads on their pants, in front of their pants,
right across their helmet,
underneath their crotch, by their jock strap, everywhere.
So to see a clean ice surface, cleaner even than the NHL is, because there's all kinds of NHL logos now and other things that are, everything's for sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to see a clean ice surface, and then it'd be so large too, another 15 feet wider, to see the extra space that the players have to play on, it really took me back to the 80s even, just watching this beautiful clean ice surface and all the players on it, and you can see so well.
It's awesome.
And it was great. So I like the large ice surface. I wish we would transition to the larger ice over here. I really do. I really do. I thought I wouldn't like it because of the extra room. There would be less hitting and there'd be more offense. But we've seen 2-1 games. We've seen games that are scoreless right to near to the very end. And it's the players can see each other well. They can make use of that ice. I really like it. And
I think it breeds more talent because when you're defending with a bigger ice surface, you're likely not going to remove yourself from your defensive position as much. So you're going to let the guy stay to the outside and dingle and dangle all he wants and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that probably makes more exciting hockey. But then again, you will have less hitting. So you have to give up something to get something.
And in Canada and the United States, the NHL size rinks that are 200 by 85, if that's all you ever play in, and then you go to the international scene for an Olympics or a World Championship, I think that puts you at a disadvantage playing in the much bigger surface without getting used to it. So I think if everywhere else on the planet is playing with the larger surface, then we don't have to immediately, let's say, but maybe phase it in over a 20-year period, try to get some rinks that are bigger.
I think just financially that's too big of an ask.
Well, and I think that's why it takes so long, because I don't know if we talked about it on this program or whether I just heard it on another podcast about how somewhere they're building a new arena or they're about to build a new arena, and they're planning to build it to accommodate a 100-foot width.
Oh, really?
With the ice plant, even though they're not going to board it that way at first, but they're going to have the infrastructure underneath in the cement to widen it if they need to, either to turn it into an international surface for an event or because it may come down the road someday.
Interesting.
So just when new rinks are being built, and probably within 20 years you'll see a lot of refreshing of the rinks, just build, don't have to go to the 200 feet by 100 foot right away. Just put that extra 7.5 feet on either side of ice plant that you valve it off, and so it's you can still put seats over the top and it'll look normal. But then if you ever need it, it's already there.
So is Rogers Center in Vancouver? Because they had the Olympics there in 20.
Yeah, I don't think it was big. I think it was NHL size, and I think that's a disadvantage to the players coming in because they're used to having more room. And
Didn't
now
they have
squeezed.
to change? Didn't they have to make it bigger?
I don't think so.
Well, that's.
Let us know in 2010.
I don't remember.
I don't think they did. I think if they did, it would have been a story. It would have been a thing, and I don't remember seeing anything about that. Or it wasn't following hockey super close at the time, so may have missed that. Anyway.
Interesting.
All
right, let's move on. So a little bit about the finals coming up. Some news out of Boston. It looks like Krejci is missing some practices and dealing with an injury and, quote, should be available for the finals. So keep an eye on that. That would be a massive loss for Boston, and but not really a surprising loss. I mean, I can remember Boston runs in the playoffs in the past 10 years where Krejci just wasn't there because he was injured. So he's, I don't want to say made of glass, but he does have a lengthy injury history. So a little concerning, definitely. As far as the finals go in the schedule, it is as follows. Game 1 will be Monday, May 27th. Game 2 is Wednesday, May 29th. Game 3 is Saturday, June 1st. Game 4 is Monday, June 3rd. Game 5, if needed, is Thursday, June 6th. Game 6, if needed, is Sunday, June 9th. And if needed, Game 7 is Wednesday, June 12th. So that's quite a spread.
And we fly home on the 13th.
I think it's a ridiculous spread.
That's crazy. There's like a lot of 3-day breaks there.
It's dumb.
It is dumb.
We went and played the first 3 rounds of the playoffs with 1-day break. And now we have, it's been, I think, it'll be 9 days or something like that in between, I think it's 9 days in between St. Louis's, no, it'll be less than 9 days. Anyways, there's a big break in between round 3 and this. And then all these breaks in between the games. What's the point? Like, just if there's going to be this much gap in between all this stuff, let's spread out round 1 and round 2. Like, I don't understand what the big.
And neither arena
annoying.
in St. Louis nor Boston is accommodating any other professional sport that I'm aware of inside.
Not at the moment.
Right. So we're not talking a basketball conflict as we
Yeah,
would.
there's
Let's
no-
say the Leafs are in the finals and the Raptors are in the finals at the same time. Obviously, you've got to do some juggling there. But,
Juggling.
juggling.
Okay.
But that's not the case here for that. Is it just because they want the playoffs to end on the 12th of June? Did they plan for this to go at least one of the series going 7 games in every round, and that's when it would end? So that's when it's going to end because they have to plan the banquet and
I don't know, because if that was the case, then I think that the schedule would be released at the beginning of the playoffs, like the final
That's
schedule.
true. That's a
And
good
it
point.
wasn't.
That's a good point.
So I don't
Yeah,
know.
very strange.
Anyway.
Interesting tidbit I have out of St. Louis on the finals. The play-by-play announcer for the St. Louis Blues is Chris Kerber, and he works for KMOX St. Louis 1120. And they've been the broadcaster for the Blues. I don't know if it's been continuous, but they've been the broadcasters for a long time. And KMOX has been on the air for a long time. I remember hearing them as a kid in the early 70s. And you can still hear them from here at night, KMOX 1120. They're one of the few real good clear channel stations that still gets out. Anyway, if your TV breaks when you're watching any of the games, all you have to do is go into one of my fancy radios and turn it to 1120 kilohertz, or just drive out into the driveway away from the house a little bit with your truck and turn your AM radio on 1120, and you're going to hear
Holy
you're
jump.
going to hear the game.
All right, I'll write this down.
Yeah, do that. 1120 AM. But here's what Chris Kerber went and did. He went and drafted a guy by the name of John Kelly, who will do every second period play-by-play in the finals as long as they go.
Okay.
Okay. John Kelly is who?
Yeah.
John Kelly is the son of Dan Kelly, who was the St. Louis Blues play-by-play announcer in the 1970 series
Oh, cool.
against Boston.
So a little bit of a throwback there.
A little bit of a throwback, and he's getting John to do the games, second periods, and he'll pick up. Chris Kerber will pick up the first and third periods.
Is
of all
that
the
his
games.
profession, or?
I'm not sure. I didn't have time before we started to record here today to look up a little bit more about John Kelly.
That's
but,
cool.
I think it's great.
Yeah, that's actually
It's a
pretty
real
awesome.
classy touch on the part of Chris Kerber, KMOX, to make this happen and to help connect the 1970 run with the 2019 run.
Because people can say it doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of matters. Like, it's a good storyline.
Chris Kerber's already in Boston. I follow him on Twitter, and he made some remark. He was in a particular drinking establishment, and there's a lot of St. Louis Blues fans starting to populate the bar. Anyway, before management could shut it off, either through the jukebox or whatever they have to play music, they got Gloria played twice
Nice.
in this Boston bar before someone pulled the plug on it and shut it off.
That's awesome.
I think it's great. And that's what you're in for.
Yeah, that's what you're in for.
That's what you're in for.
Get ready.
These St. Louis Blues fans, they're not done.
Yeah, and someone should call all the radio stations around Boston and tell them not to play that song, because if they did, no one's going to re-listen to that radio station anymore.
Now, if I was running a radio station in Boston and someone called me and said, please don't play Gloria by Laura Branigan, I'd be, well, yeah. Why would I? Because I hate the song. I like
How
the
dare you.
significance it has for St. Louis. I like that they've attached themselves to the song, and I understand. I get it. But I never liked the song, and I still don't.
Okay. I like the song. Heck yeah.
Okay, good for you. But I don't. But I don't mind hearing it, and I hope I hear it a lot, frankly, because I'm cheering for St. Louis. I hope
That's
I hear
right.
Gloria continuously. I can handle that.
Yeah.
If that's the price I have to pay,
That is the price you have to pay.
okay, I'll do it.
Okay. Did you hear the racing fact about, not really fact, did you hear what happened with the Stanley Cup and racing?
Stanley Cup and racing?
Yep.
No.
Mario and Andretti took the Stanley Cup for a ride around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I did
at
not
over
know that.
200 miles an hour.
I did not know
He
that.
put it in the back seat.
No. Because Mario does have a two-seat car that
Yeah.
that he drives around and brings
Yeah.
journalists and stuff.
Anyways, there's pictures of it on social media and stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't pick that up, and I follow the Indy pretty closely, too. So,
I thought you'd like that. I was
Oh,
hoping you
that's-
wouldn't know.
yeah. I'm disappointed with the lack of media coverage of the Indy 500 this year. ABC Sports used to be wall-to-wall. They would do carburation day. They would do qualifying. They would do all the special events that lead up to the Indy 500. Nothing. Nothing. The race is on today, and that's about it. So I'm very
Why?
disappointed. I don't know. I don't know if it's a contractual thing or they're lazy or they ran out of money.
Maybe just no one likes racing anymore.
Well, they should still like Indy. I can see why they'd start walking away from NASCAR a bit. But Indy, Formula One, it's great.
All right.
All right.
Back to hockey a little bit. Some news around the league out of Montreal. The Habs signed Kulak to a 3-year contract with an average of $1.85 million. What's your thoughts on this contract?
I think it's about right.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. He really showed himself to be a very valuable player.
He had a great year, very underrated. Probably going to be with the Canadiens long term, I would assume. This is, for a defenseman, you have to overpay for a defenseman. It's just how the league goes. And to get him for 1.85 for 3 years, to me, that's a steal. That was a great signing.
Very smart
We've been
player.
Incredibly critical of Marc Bergevin over the past,
We have.
5 years or 6 years or whatever it is. And this is, I would say, honestly, it's a low-key signing, but I think it's one of his best signings ever as a Canadian GM. So
Yeah, it ranks right up there with the Paul Byron find and a few other things.
a couple of other little things, yeah. So Winnipeg, Brossoit agrees to a 1-year contract with them worth $1.25 million. Again, I think an okay signing. You look at some teams, Montreal, who have one goalie with a large contract. You kind of have to get a backup with a reasonable contract. And Winnipeg, I would say, has a main goalie with a reasonable contract and also a backup goalie with a reasonable contract. So
it's reasonable in value, but is it reasonable in time? When I saw just 1 year, I wondered what the reason for that was. Hellebuck's your guy in the long term, and Brossoit is a very good backup. Why wouldn't you lock him in for 4 or 5 years?
I think they're worried about performance.
Well, maybe.
We all know that he's not the best goalie in the league, and we know that he's not the best backup goalie in the league.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're willing to commit long term to.
Do you think it's their choice then that it's
I
only
think
a
it's
year?
their choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's their choice.
I guess to flip the coin over, he could be saying, well, I think I'm going to be more attractive to other teams in a year's time, so I don't want to lock in for too long. But I think you're right.
Yeah, he's not a bad goalie.
No.
But anyways, Minnesota. Did you hear the news out of Minnesota?
No.
Mike Modano joins the team as an executive advisor.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Whatever the hell that is. I have no idea, but he joins the team, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a team he started to play for, I believe, the Minnesota North Stars back in the day.
Pardon me.
You all right there, Haas?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm 98% out of the woods on that cold I had a few weeks ago,
Okay.
but I just have some residual things to deal with
All right.
internally here.
When you need to cough, you raise your hand, and I'm going to mute your mic.
All right,
Okay.
if I have time.
Voinov, did you hear the news about him?
The suspension.
Yeah, so he was issued a 1-year suspension by the NHL PA or whatever. He was, however, credited with 41 games already served, which means he could return to the NHL mid-season, upcoming season. The LA Kings have already said that they have no interest in having him rejoin their team.
Okay.
So I wonder if other teams will also decline the services of Voinov based on what happened in this whole drama situation. I suspect that no team is going to sign him just to make a stand, and I agree with it.
The press release, the joint press release from the NHL and the NHLPA that came out was very brief, very curt, maybe 3 or 4 short paragraphs, and that was it. And I still have to be reminded as to why he was suspended. It doesn't ring a bell with me.
It was so long ago.
Yeah.
I think it was domestic abuse or something like that, or domestic and substance or something. I don't remember. I just remember it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm wrong, just let me know in the comments. Not a big deal. Someone probably knows the whole situation inside and out.
Yeah.
So feel free to leave a comment.
So he was suspended for non-hockey issues, probably.
As
like
far
things to do
as I know, yeah.
with his other life.
I'm almost positive it was domestic, but whatever.
It rings a bit of a bell when you say that, so that's probably it.
News out of the island: Nelson signs a 6-year contract worth an average of $6 million per year. 6 years. In 6 years, the cap's going to go up. We got Seattle coming in. Cap's definitely going up. Mm-hmm. I think that's a real safe contract for Nelson. I think it overplays his value a little bit financially right now, but I think it's a very fair contract to him and to the team, to him short term and to the team long term. So I'm totally okay with this contract. Do you have any opinion on?
No.
News out of Ottawa. They have a new coach.
They do.
DJ Smith.
After interviewing several people, including
Yes.
Patrick Waugh, we talked about that last weekend, they have got DJ Smith.
DJ Smith, the former coach, or the former assistant coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
I don't know if this is a good signing or not. I don't really know a lot about the guy, to be honest. I'm not going to sit here and make up stuff. I don't think it matters who coaches the Ottawa Senators. It could be Patrick Waugh. It could be Pat Quinn. It could be Ken Hitchcock. It doesn't matter. As long as Eugene Melnyk is in that position, there's going to be drama and there's going to be headaches for whoever the coach is. So good luck to DJ Smith and the Ottawa Senators. I hope he turns the team around. Hope he does really well. Hope he's there long term. And I wish him all the best with Melnyk.
There you go.
We watched some Memorial Cup recently.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
It's good hockey. My goodness.
It is. It's
so
really good hockey.
It's good hockey. But I think they need to do something with the rules.
What do you mean?
The standings rules. Well, the Friday night game, where I think it's Halifax playing Rwanda or something. And as long as one of them didn't win by more than 4 goals, it changed the standings to the... Right now, the Prince Albert Raiders... Is it Raiders? Prince Albert, anyways, on the outside looking in, because all the teams, the 3 teams that are in, it's a 4-team tournament, and 2 teams play in the semi, and then there's a final featuring the winner of the semi and the one who gets the bye through. Prince Albert sitting there with no games left to play, and the 2 teams that are playing are already in, as long as they engineer the game in such a way that the tiebreaker rule doesn't kick in and allow Prince Albert back in. And you're basically, in the case of Halifax, they lost the game by 1 goal, and they were thrilled. Like, there's something seriously wrong with it.
They're the host city.
They're the host city. Yeah.
They wouldn't even have made the Memorial Cup if they weren't the host
right.
city, and now they're playing for the Memorial
because
Cup.
In the semi, they got their way to the semis.
Yeah.
They played the Guelph Storm and beat them, and quite handily too.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that.
Yeah, well, it was not as close as it could have been. I was really thinking Guelph was going to.
I was hoping we were cheering for Guelph.
Yeah,
You'd think we would cheer for Halifax since it's the local team, or most local team to us. But yeah, we were pretty heavy on the Guelph Storm. Suzuki was pretty fun to watch. Not so much in that last game, but
pretty silent
throughout the tournament. I really thought that Noah Dobson was the complete difference maker. Holy chug! You thirsty there, Haas?
Well, I'm trying to respond to your complaint about my.
God, you're needy. I thought Noah Dobson was fantastic. He was on the ice like 100% of the time. I don't even think he took a line change. Like, the dude played, I think it was 25 out of the first 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It was unreal. And he wasn't just playing big minutes defensively. Like, he was taking the puck in and going on rushes and going behind the net and stuff. Like, this kid is incredible. And I'm lucky we can say that because he's from Prince Edward Island. So.
He is. He's from Summerside.
Yeah.
So I'm cheering hard for Halifax now.
Yes.
I wasn't when this all started, but I am now, because what a great story that would be if Noah Dobson wins the Memorial Cup 2 years in a row with 2 different teams.
Yeah. That's true.
What do they have in common?
Yeah.
Noah Dobson.
Noah Dobson.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have some rumors around the NHL if you'd like to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the accuracy of any of these rumors. That's why they're called rumors, but I'm going to read them anyway. The Islanders are interested in Bobrovsky, which I thought was very interesting. I personally don't see that happening, but you never know. The Rangers are heavily interested in. I didn't even write the name down. I guess I just moved on to the next rumor.
The Rangers are heavily interested.
Panarin. Panarin. I'm trying to think back to what I read. Yeah, Panarin. So I think that's a really good fit. Actually, I'm okay with Panarin and with the Rangers.
It's a good fit.
He's still young. Rangers are rebuilding. They've got that big high draft pick this coming year. You don't like it?
Well, I like it, but I wonder if that gets Panarin what he wants. Does Panarin actually want to win, or does Panarin just want to play in a team in a big city and be the guy?
Yeah, I think that's what. I think he wants to get paid big and live in a cool city.
Yeah, because if you want to win a Stanley Cup, which is probably more important to a North American than it would be to an overseas player because they don't grow up dreaming about it like we do, then fine. But if he wants to win a cup, I think, or if I wanted to win the cup, I think New York would be way down my list of teams to sign with.
Okay, where do you think you should sign?
Well, I would sign with Washington, or I would sign with...
Washington can't afford him.
But they could afford me. I'm talking about me. It's all about me.
You think Montreal should sign him? Not if he wants to win a cup.
Oh, ow, that hurt. I think Montreal's got the cap room. Mm-hmm. They've got the need for a player of his caliber.
They definitely have the need.
And it's a damn cool city to represent. And he could maybe be one of the few people who can handle the pressure of playing hockey in Montreal. Those are special people. A lot of players don't even want to talk to Montreal because they don't want that microscope on them.
I don't think he wants to play there just for tax reasons alone.
Well, it could be. They can sweeten the offer, though.
Give him a signing bonus or whatever. Yeah. Whatever. Montreal's interested in Aberlé. Speaking of Montreal, I think I mentioned this to you last week.
You did, yes.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'll discuss it when it happens, if it happens. Columbus wants to keep Duchesne, which is pretty cool. I'm okay with that. I think he fits in pretty good there. It took him a while to fit in, but I think it was pretty clear that after a while he fit in pretty good. That's basically all the hockey talk that I have.
Yep, me too. I'm good for hockey.
So the game last night, the NBA game, that was unreal. And if you don't like basketball, the next 5 minutes are probably going to be pretty boring to you, but it was just a tremendous game. A comeback game. They were down by 15.
Yeah.
And, late in the third, down by 15. And in the fourth quarter, man, it was exciting to watch. And Kawhi was on the bench for a part of that run back. And then he came on, and he made that amazing dunk. I think it was Lowry that gave him the ball there. That was unbelievable. So it's really cool to see the Raptors come back in that game and come back in the series. They were down 2-0 in the series, come back and win. So exciting.
I never thought that I would PVR a basketball game. But after the previous round that went to Game 7 and how exciting that was, I thought, I have to see some of this now. I have to see what everyone's talking about because I don't like basketball as a rule. Mm-hmm. It's not my favorite sport by a long shot. I'd rather watch highlight or test cricket usually than basketball. Okay, so this is where I'm starting out from. Mm-hmm. But I did PVR it, and I got up this morning to watch the second half because I'm trying to get up early and go to bed early to get my body clock already adjusted a bit for the trip. And I was right on the edge of my seat this morning watching that fourth quarter, especially the last 5 minutes. It was fantastic. And it took half an hour to play the last 5 minutes.
And it always does.
Yeah. Jeez.
I see a lot of people on Twitter, same view as you, like never really interested in basketball that much, but this player really had got me interested. Mm-hmm. Like, if you look at the lineup, you've got Lowry guiding plays like a magician, Kawhi being an absolute goat and doing everything, Gasol just being a monster, Siakam with some huge blocks.
Van Fleet with the three-pointers.
Van Fleet just draining those threes. Like there's so many little storylines and little things that lead up to each of these wins. And it's really exciting. So I generally don't watch a lot of basketball. If I do, I'm only watching the Raptors. Like I'll watch the Raptors throughout the season a little bit, and then every game in the playoffs. And whenever they're gone, I kind of give up on basketball. Mm-hmm. I'll watch the Denver Nuggets a little bit too. I don't mind them. Other than that, you kind of lose me with basketball a little bit. Yeah,
I really, other than the Raptors and the story that it tells for the city of Toronto, I have no interest in basketball as a rule. But you missed one player when you were going through the list. Drake.
Oh, Drake. What's your thoughts on Drake?
Well, I know there's some controversy, and I'm not up on the controversy part, but I like on the road games how he's out with the crowd, out in the Jurassic Park, I guess they call it. And he's right on the sidelines. You can see him hopping and bopping around. He's at mid-court there, just having a great time.
Man, he loves everything. It doesn't matter what happens on the court. He freaking loves it.
And I think it's cool.
I think it's cool, too. I don't like Drake.
I'm not a Drake fan.
But I support the meme of Drake. Like, there's people in Jurassic Park with big Drake heads.
I see them flying up in the crowd.
Like, that's amazing. Like, guys, support the meme. Support the Drake meme. It's just fun to watch. Look at the passion. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of Drake, but how can you not respect someone who loves something that much he gets so excited about every single basket, and he chirps the other team. Like he's not just cheering for the Raptors and getting excited. Like he's legitimately verbally chirping the other players, the other team. It's great.
One thing I like too is the broadcast usually pans the crowd multiple times, but there's usually one time when they look for celebrities, right? So it's not just Drake. Jerry D is here. And no one else will know who Jerry D is, but we do in Canada.
Yeah.
Mr. D, right?
Dallas Green was there, I think, last night too.
Yeah, and there were others. And just to look at the crowd, how diverse the crowd is. This is something I don't think you see yet. It's coming, but I don't think you see it yet in hockey. But in the crowd, you're seeing people of color. You're seeing a lot of, I think it's a very good mix, male to female.
Yeah.
And a lot of kids there. I think the diversity, and Toronto is a fantastically diverse
I was going to say that,
start
yeah.
with.
It's a very diverse city.
Yeah. But to see them all celebrating together at a Canadian event. And in fact, James Naismith, who invented basketball, was a Canadian.
Yeah.
So this is our game.
Technically, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's cool though, because there was obviously different religions and stuff in the audience last night. And man, that didn't matter. For 4 quarters, it didn't matter. And everyone just came together and cheered for a sport, and it was great.
Yeah.
Totally.
And a lot of youth, so many young people.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the ticket prices are like inside for a playoff game for the Raptors versus what they would be for the same level of, how would we know what it's like for the Leafs?
For the Leafs, oh, no.
Oops. But what would the ticket prices be? Maybe they're vastly different. Maybe they're the same. I don't know.
That's a good question for any Toronto basketball fans out there. Let us know if you're local to Toronto and you know the ticket prices of these games. Let us know down in the comments. We'd be curious to find out. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time in Raptors history that they are going to the finals. This is the first time in NBA history that the finals will be played in Canada. It's pretty big news. If you're not a fan of basketball, totally understand. If you'd like to give basketball a chance, this is the time. Watch the finals coming up. I think game 1 is on
Tuesday or Thursday? It's in Toronto. I think it's Tuesday night.
I don't remember. There's a game on there's a game a week from today. I know that. I just don't remember what game it is. Anyways, please give it a try. It's going to be great. All right. What?
We did skip one hockey thing that we talked about just before we went to air, and that was the ECHL.
Oh, right. Yeah, the ECHL. So there is a new team in the ECHL this year. It's the Newfoundland or the St. John's Growlers, the Newfoundland Growlers or whatever. They're in the freaking finals. What?
What?
They're Vegasing the ECHL.
They are. They are.
The game 1 was last night. They won 4-3
in overtime.
Has that
know.
Has that happened in a league? I'm sure it has happened in a league. We almost saw it with Vegas last year.
We almost saw it with Vegas.
But we kind of naive in the fact that we kind of pretend these other leagues kind of don't exist, so we're not as aware.
And in the AHL and the ECHL, maybe to a slightly lesser extent, because they are often affiliated with or even owned by NHL teams, they can be created and immediately stacked right away. So it's probably not as rare, but in the case of the Growlers, they're not affiliated. They just got created out of nothingness, and they amassed some players. And there's Newfoundland-based players like Party and others that are playing for the team, local guys. And here they are. I think it's wonderful.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the games aren't on TV. Otherwise, we'd watch them. I mean, our TV.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd watch them. But I'm not sure if you can watch them online. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Thought we'd mention it.
Very cool.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I almost forgot.
Sorry.
So to end this podcast, you're going on a little trip. We've discussed that over the past couple months, actually. You've been playing this for a while. You leave in... What time is it? Leave in 2.5 hours?
Yeah, you take us to the airport in about 2 hours and 15 minutes now.
Excited?
Yeah, quite excited.
Quite excited.
Very, very excited. And didn't sleep all that great last night.
Oh, really?
Some kind of weirdo helicopter went over the house this morning about 3:19 or 3:20 in the morning. I think it was a medevac. We're right on the direct path between the Halifax Hospital and the Charlottetown Hospital. So helicopters that are en route doing medevacs go right over the house. But this one here seemed louder and lower than usual. But anyway, it woke me up, and that was it.
Wow.
And I wanted to get up around that time anyway, because when we get to the plane in Montreal tonight to fly on the red-eye over to Heathrow, I want to be able to have a few good hours of sleep time, snooze time.
You're trying to acclimate yourself to the time zone difference.
Because when we get there, we're going to get into London in the morning tomorrow, fairly early in the morning if everything's on time, like 7:30. And we're going to have to do the customs clearance, immigration stuff and get through all of that. We have tickets for the Heathrow Express to get ourselves downtown to Paddington. And then we have to make our way to the hotel. That will take a couple of hours to go through all that. We'll still be arriving at the hotel. If we went straight there, hours before we're allowed to check in.
Yeah.
So you've got these two Canadian zombies staggering around who have no real good sleep in the last 36 hours.
In a new place.
In a new place.
Never been there before.
With suitcases. So I'm guessing if worst case scenario is we'll go to the hotel. No, sorry, we don't have a room for you just yet, sir. Well, can you at least store our bags for us, and then we can walk around. We're not far from Notting Hill Gate and a few other places. So if the weather is decent, we'll be fine. But we'll be looking forward to getting in the hotel room and maybe having a 40 winks.
I noticed you're wearing the Sheffield Steelers.
I am. Just thought I'd get used to the local.
Are you gonna bring any of those ECHL hats over?
I'm not.
Oh, what? That's a
when I come back with it, how can I say that I didn't buy it over there if I'm close to my limit on customs or something? That's one small concern.
That's true.
Why would you be coming back with a Sheffield Steelers hat that you say you brought to England? Yeah, right.
What about your Man U jacket?
I am wearing that just because I need a jacket anyway. But and if they ask me about it, I can probably show them a hole in it somewhere to prove it's not brand new.
Or you can show them the vlog that you're going to post.
Yes, that's right.
On your channel.
Probably finished uploading by now.
Yeah.
It was at 52% or something when we started this. So, yeah, I'll have if you really have nothing to do with your life, there's a vlog of me going to New Hampshire and back.
Like 52 minutes or 56
52 minutes of me just yakking at the camera and repeating myself, and it's very, very hard to listen to, I'm
epic.
sure. Anyway, so we're quite excited. We fly out of Charlottetown to Montreal, and then we wait in Montreal for a couple of hours, and we board the plane for Heathrow. And, of course, because I am anal and I have to know everything about everything, I follow the planes in the air before they even get to me to make sure that everything's okay.
The plane that you're going to take from Montreal to Heathrow, you know where that came from.
I know where it flew. As we're starting this podcast, it's still in the air about an hour from landing in Toronto from Madrid.
From Madrid, yeah.
So Madrid, Spain to Toronto. It lands there. It's an hour and a half late getting into Toronto, which doesn't bother me any. If our flight is late getting out, that's cool.
Okay.
The less time we have to stagger around until we get our hotel room. Once we get there tomorrow, the better. And then it goes Toronto to Montreal. I've been on that flight before, the Airbus 330 repositioning flight to Montreal. They fill it full of people, but none of those people are going on to Heathrow. They're all getting off in Montreal. Then they drag it to a new gate, I think, and then, we supposedly board at 7 p.m. Montreal time tonight, and by 7:45, we're pulling away from the gate.
This is your first overseas trip. You're up there. You're getting up there. You're close to 60. And this is your first time across the sea.
It is.
This is a pretty special trip. Like, this isn't just, I'm going to see Europe. But like, this is
it's very special.
This is a huge trip for you. So
it's very special. We have, your mother and I both have wanted to go over there, anywhere in Europe, but specifically the UK, the British Isles, for a long, long time, for decades.
You guys have been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, but I've never had a life and a job and a pay and the ability to squirrel money away ever, all throughout this period of time. For the most of my life and most of the time you were growing up, I was working at jobs that were a lot of fun, but they didn't pay a great amount of money, and we were just getting by.
Welcome to Atlantic Canada.
There you go. And now we finally, we've had a little bit of good luck, and my job is solid and full-time and until I retire and all that. So it's the first time I've had job security of any kind, probably ever. So, yeah, we're finally able to make it happen. So we're really excited.
Are you going to be posting updates on social media?
Yes, I am. I will be posting. You've persuaded me to reactivate my Snapchat. So,
right.
So that's going to be very much of a struggle. So don't expect to see much there because I really don't know how to work.
Yeah, I've actually only shared your username with Patreon members. So.
Yeah, and that's probably where it should stay.
As far as like Instagram or Twitter or anything like that?
Instagram, yes. And I think Instagram may be the main platform because from Instagram, when I post, I can feed that post to Twitter.
Okay.
From Instagram.
And your Instagram is Brent VY2HF?
Brent VY2HF.
Or just
some variant of that.
VY2HF, I don't know.
Yeah, if you do a look for that, you'll find me. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, great. Mostly they'll just be pictures with some hashtags, and I'll share that over the Twitter. Because Instagram and Facebook are corporately together, they'll probably share some over to Facebook as well, but no one on the show will probably see that unless they're already friends.
All right, I want to start a thing right now. It's I'm going to start a new hashtag, and this is for you. You have to use this hashtag too.
Oh, great.
Okay, we've already kind of talked about this a little bit. I want you to do the goat pose in front of like famous places, like I don't know, like Big Ben and like basically anywhere you go that's cool. Get a photo of you doing the goat pose and use hashtag goat pose.
Hashtag goat pose.
If you don't know what goat pose is, do it. It's like. Yeah, it's like basically it's that.
Someone did a meme of me coming out of a box of French fries or something, doing like that, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it was. It was a long time.
If you haven't seen the video, we actually have a video on the channel about Brent's memes. So if you just go to the Post to Post channel and search meme, you'll find it. Watch it. You'll see some awesome memes in there. That's kind of where it came from. So hashtag goat pose, and you guys at home, if you want to take a photo of yourself doing the goat pose wherever. And upload it to social media, and make sure you hashtag goat pose. If you click on goat pose, like that hashtag, you'll be able to see other people's photos.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Let's do it. Let's start the hashtag goat pose.
You'll see me posing in front of if I remember to do these things, because you get over there and life takes over. So
I'll remind you. Don't worry.
I'm sure. But with the great Wi-Fi they have over in England and Scotland, and we're going to get UK-based SIM cards for our phones with data, so we should be okay for a lot of it.
Are you bringing the shirt that says goat on it?
I'm not.
What?
Should I? I guess I should.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pack that.
The red one.
The red one.
Because it matches your jacket, and it's part of the meme.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're going to be vlogging this trip?
I will be vlogging. You've kindly loaned me the G7X, and I'm not a whiz-bang in using it, but I think, well...
You did okay.
The trip to Deerfield was a bit of a test, a bit of an experiment, so if you have any constructive criticism on that, I know what the first one's going to be, shut up.
No, I'm excited for your vlogs. You're probably not going to post any until you get back.
That's right. They will be recorded and saved off. I'm taking a portable hard drive with me because I need gigs of space probably to handle all of this. So I will do that. And when I get back, hopefully you'll have some time, and maybe between the two of us we can produce some vlogs.
Yep.
Maybe it'll be one each day for each of the days we were traveling, or one for each location.
No, do it day by day.
Day by day.
Do it day by day, and don't rename your files. Okay? Keep them in order. For the love of God.
Okay.
And make a folder called Day 1 and put all the video in there. Next folder, Day 2. Do it like that.
Okay.
Well, it'll be so much easier to edit and stuff.
I think I can do that.
All right. And so find Brent on YouTube. I think it's just Brent Taylor.
Yeah, Brent Taylor. Or
like
if you do look for VY2HF, you're going to find that's my ham radio call sign, and it seems to be it's a unique identity in the world. No one else has that call sign because each country has its own set of prefixes. So it's a safe way of being unique. That's why I chose my call sign as my main social media identity. When we're over there, there's going to be some interesting things happening, just other than the touristy things we're going to try to make happen for ourselves.
Okay.
It's the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
Oh, really?
Which is going to happen on the 6th of June. We'll be in Scotland by then, but down in London, they're going to be having a very substantial celebration, including the President of the United States will be there to visit.
Wow.
And big stuff. Lots of military aircraft. Old DC-3s are flying over now from the States and Canada.
Cool.
To be part of a big fleet of DC-3s that will overfly. Wow. It's going to be amazing. So I'm going to probably be in the worst possible place to see it because we'll be doing something cool in Scotland, touring a castle or wherever. Yeah. So hopefully, if you see anything really cool, if you PVR that for us.
I'll send you some posts on social media and stuff, so there'll be lots of posts.
That would be wonderful. So, of course, the President is visiting in London. He's spending 3 days there next week. And also, Theresa May, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, is stepping down and her last day is June the 7th. And so she'll be done, and I don't know if they'll have picked a successor for her by then, but we'll be in Edinburgh that day it'll be news. So it will be there when all of this chatter is going on about the political changes in England and Brexit and all of that. And we'll be in Scotland, which is a place that voted against leave and wanted to remain. So
it's kind of cool that all that stuff is going on, because when you look back on this trip 8 years from now or 10 years from now, or whatever, you can get a little nostalgic about some of this.
Absolutely.
These things, and yeah, it'll be cool.
Absolutely, yeah. So we want to vlog it in one way, I guess, for the viewers and the people who like to follow and have extra time that want to follow me too, but also just as our own memories. So I'll be doing probably on day 1, day 2, day 3 in those folders. You'll just see lots of B-roll panoramic shots and things that don't need to be in a vlog. Just for us.
They're just for you.
Just for us, yeah.
All right.
So if you want to put them in, great. But you're going to see me probably get the most excited at the Greenwich Meridian, the Prime Meridian in Greenwich, and maybe at my 5th great-grandfather's gravesite. If the research is correct, and there's 2 different branches of research, but my great-grandfather, if it's correct, 5th great-grandfather is buried in Dalton, Scotland.
Cool.
So I'm going to try to record that visually. It's in some way. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck on your trip. I'll see you in 3 weeks. Have fun.
Thank you very much.
And you guys can expect lots of videos. Maybe not right away. Not this upcoming week. There's probably only going to be 2 videos that release, maybe 3, but 2 videos that release on post-to-post and 1 on more post-to-post. And there won't be any other videos other than that until the following week. And there should be lots of videos. I would say about a week into June and the second week into June, there's going to be tons of videos. Keep an eye out for that. I can't really tell you what's going on, but big stuff's happening. So yeah, so thanks for joining me for this podcast. I appreciate it. Have fun on your trip. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and hope you're having a good day. Yeah, take care. We'll see you in the next podcast if it happens next weekend, which hopefully it will. All right, see ya. Adios.